Good morning and welcome to a new update, and in this update we'll be discussing the important events of the past few days, and today we've had an important one as the ETH merge was successful and very smooth. We're going to explain or discuss what we can do with the price action going from there. It's going to be a relatively short update, but if you enjoy the content, make sure to like this YouTube update, subscribe beneath if you enjoy the content, as we are posting daily content on this YouTube channel. And also make sure to check out our trade letter and premium membership, where I share my trades, where you can find altcoin setups and more, which is all you can all test it for 1 week for free. So check it out. Today we are going to discuss the ETH merge. In the past few days we've had some very important events taking place on macroeconomics, which is CPI. And we've had a huge sell-off after CPI, which was a little bit of an overreaction to the markets, as right now the markets are pricing in 100 bips, and that's going to be next week. And next week during the Fed meeting we'll be live streaming, which is going to be a very important one. Then we also had the case of PPI yesterday, which was not that special. Everything became neutral. The actual real number of PPI became in lower than expected, so that is dropping down quite heavily. And we also know that if the month-to-month 0.1% stays like this, we could be dropping down towards 0 or beneath 2% inflation in April and March of next year. So the path of the drop of the inflation numbers is already taking place. When we're looking at the price action or at the fundamentals first, which is ETH merge, this happened this morning and the merge was successful and smooth. No real issues, it worked. Ethereum is now from proof of work to proof of stake, which means that it's one of the largest and biggest events into the crypto space and blockchain space, as the adoption can only accelerate going forward. What does this mean? Well, we were expecting a ton of volatility around the actual event. We were also expecting a huge sell-off to be happening around this event too, as it's a buy the rumor, sell the news concept. None of it is taking place. We had a low volatility move around the event taking place. The funding rates are dropping down again, and there is no real sell-off. So we could be having a case of where people were assuming that's going to be a sell-off and didn't really trust the actual event taking place and didn't really enter into the markets based on the fact that everyone was claiming that buy the rumor, sell the news concept. So a grind could be possible, as we also have been pricing in the CPI data for 100 bips, and today we also had the jobless claims, which I'll be discussing in the update from tomorrow, why I think that is very important to keep an eye on. So we could be starting a grind or accumulation, as right now most events have been taking place and the impact of the ETH merge haven't been too much, which was not expected at all during that event. But fundamentally the growth will be taking place, and from there we will be seeing way more expansion, and probably the acceleration on the prices will happen once the build up of the ETH merge or the ETH ecosystem is going to take place. So let's dive into the charts on what we see there, as there is not much to see at all. So when we're looking at the price action, there's not much change since last Tuesday actually. We've had this run up, we've had this big gap in between. We were also concluding that whether the price action is going to fall down, you preferably want to see 21.6k hold. We didn't, and that's why we started to cascade south, and then you're looking at price action which you want to hold at the range low at 19.5, right? So this entire block is an entry zone. We discussed it yesterday. We've hit that level and it's actually holding up right now for support, and based from that perspective you will be getting into lower time frame based territory in which you are range bound and trying to trade from that range. So in that case, if we are looking at the lows, you preferably still want to long around 19.5 and 19.4, and if we look at the range highs, you preferably want to short around 20.7, and if we do break 20.7, I think we all of a sudden start to accelerate towards 22.5 again. So daily time frame still into that range bound construction, while we are just waiting for the markets to make a decision. We just had a giant sell-off, which has been happening in the past often, and we can reverse quite fast too, but then we just have to have bad jobless claims, for instance, or we have to have a breakout overall. But I think that the markets are going to stay relatively calm until CPI comes out. So conclusion for Bitcoin, the area is still there. If we do crack 20.7 or 20.5, I think we can accelerate towards 22.5. Looking at the total market cap, not much has changed. We are still above the 200-week MA here, which would mean that we are still into a territory of just accumulating, and therefore in the coming weeks we should be ready to continue the trend upwards, and then we are also making higher low, and if we do continue to do so and next week is going to be green, we are targeting a higher high, which could be 1.6 trillion. When you're looking at ETH against USDT, not much happening here either. We have been claiming above the 200-week MA as we saw, and now we are looking at a period of sideways consolidation here, which is the same. Indecisive, resistance at 1830, and we also have support at this block, which I've been claiming earlier. Just consolidating and waiting for a clear move to be happening. If we do break the highs like we have been discussing with Bitcoin, we can start continuing here overall. Finally, DXY still uptrending. If jobless claims are bad today, I think that we can reverse, and we are still on the edge of the trend to break down with the bearish divergence that we have overall. No new highs yet, but that is what we are looking at. We could be getting those new highs, but next few weeks, as I stated, September is an important month, will be decisive for the market. So boring markets, still time to accumulate. Let's get to the conclusion of this update. That's the update for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'll be back with another update, and during the weekend, of course, we're going to do an FA and TA video, and this weekend we're going to do on-chain analysis and Cardano. So definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy the content, and also make sure to check out the trade letter and the premium membership. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay calm, don't do stupid shit, and avoid emotional trading. Ciao.